Hey guys, welcome back. I am Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports in Westfield, Indiana, and you are watching Marksman TV. Welcome to this week's gun store vlog. Now, I have had a lot of people ask me about doing a tour of our store inventory, so I wanted to do that and then use that as an opportunity to talk about how a gun store like mine decides what inventory they are going to put on the shelves. We have been here for 5 years and sort of take you through the process of how we decided to shape what it is that we sell to our local market and to the national market as well. Anyway, if that all sounds interesting to you, please stick around. That's coming up now. Okay guys, so let's start off with some inventory. I'm back behind the camera, so hopefully this isn't really shaky for you guys at all. I will try and stabilize things as best as I can. But I will start up here at the front of the store. So, first of all, I sort of have clearance type stuff. This is the type of stuff that I just kind of get in odds and ends with stuff that people sell me. A couple knives. I used to carry more of a selection, but I'm kind of phasing them out, mainly because it's a product line I really don't know much about, and I wasn't really able to answer a lot of the questions people were asking me. They sold okay, but not that great. Anyway, here's like our promotional table, so local businesses and stuff like that in the area, people can come in, leave business cards, usually military, armed forces, recruiters and stuff take advantage of that. So anyway, there's that. Now up at the front is 1911s. We are a Springfield dealer, so there's some Springfield stuff. Defender, some Bursas up there. Of course, more 1911 type stuff. Moving along down here, I do have a small selection of optics, Kel-Tec, RMO, EOTech. Now, I did used to have that an entire bottom shelf filled with lowers. I ran a sale and pretty much sold all of them out, so I need to refill that. Sight marks. Here is Glocks. We are also a Glock dealer. So I've got a bunch of their stuff. Smith & Wesson, shields are big sellers, more optics. Scopes, we used to carry more scopes. I need to get more in stock. It's been busy. I've been putting off this tour just because I'm having a hard time keeping stuff in stock, which is a great problem to have. But right now I just figured it would be a good time. Berettas, Rugers, Smith & Wessons, revolver section, mainly a lot of snub-nose revolvers, full size, full frame revolvers there. SIGs up at the top, again, really light on those right now. This was our surplus section. Not very much right now. Not a whole lot coming in. If you guys remember my videos I did on surplus, get it while you can, because this is what happens. You run out and it's hard to replace. Used guns. We always joke that our used gun selection is kind of like the donut shop next door. We put out our fresh used guns every morning, and by the evening they're gone. So we run through them very quickly. We typically don't have used guns that last more than a day or two in here. Moving to the back, surplus, again, Swiss 9611s. Empty space I need to fill. I've kind of consolidated long guns down a little bit. Lever guns, 22s, shotguns. Bunch of AK stuff. We are kind of known for AKs in this area, so we do stock a lot of that. New PSL, which is pretty cool. ARs, other type of stuff like that. I'm back behind the counter, single box ammunition. Main calibers, 9, 40, 45, 380, 7.62x39, 223, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, the normal, usual suspects. Over here, again, this case is usually filled, but it's light right now. Cowboy action shooting type stuff. Accessories, odds and ends, slings, bipods, scope mounts, cleaning kits, touch-up bluing kits, mace, or sights, safes, more cleaning stuff. Again, shelves are looking a little light. 22, bricks of 22. Holsters. I just carry a basic assortment, and I'll explain sort of all of this in a minute. More cleaning patches, some odds and ends again, furniture. Again, shelves are looking empty. So, again, you guys have been good to us. We're moving a lot of stuff through here, so I appreciate it. Magazines, mainly for the usual suspects. Cases. Ammunition, bulks type stuff, usually 12 gauge. I've got some 38 and 380 and that sort of stuff left. Snap caps, AR parts. Again, a basic selection. We are not a massive store. I've got about 1,200 square feet. So that's basically it for the inventory. Now let's go talk a little bit about how a gun store might decide what they are going to stock. Okay, now that you've seen sort of my inventory, or you have a general idea of what it is that I stock, let's sort of talk about what thought process a gun store might go through while stocking. Usually starting from the day of opening through, like I said, we've been here for 5 years. So we haven't been here a super long amount of time, but I'll go through that basically with you. So first of all, when we first opened, you really don't have a great idea for what it is people in your area are going to like. And you can look at videos like mine and see the sorts of stuff I am stocking, and you can replicate everything I'm stocking. Say you're in Colorado and you're gonna open a store and you wanna replicate everything I have in here. It's not going to work for you because your local market might not be interested in the same things that my local market is in. And that is a lesson I had to learn. So when I first opened the store, I opened with an inventory of 84 guns to be exact. That's handguns, long guns, rifles, that's everything. And there was a lot of space between the things I had in my store. Now I've got about, at any given time, typically 200 guns in stock. That's usually about where I center around. That's everything. Right now I'm a little low, but typically 200 is about where I like to maintain it. Now, when I opened, I carried a little bit of everything. You know, a couple 22s, some hunting shotguns, some ARs, some AKs, some revolvers, some cowboy action revolvers, some concealed carry guns, and that sort of thing. And I got an idea very quickly of what type of stuff sat around and what type of stuff moved more quickly. And as my ownership of the business has progressed and I brought in new things and seen other things sit around for a long time, I've really helped develop an idea of what are the things that people in my area ask for. There's other indicators that you can pay attention to give you an idea of what people like and what people want to see, such as transfers are a great resource to use. For example, when I first opened, I carried a lot of Mossbergs, but nothing really in Remington. A lot of people would transfer in Remington 870s, so I carried a small selection of Remington 870s for a while. When I first opened, I had a ton of hunting shotguns, really long barrel field and deer combo shotguns. They never moved. They sat around forever, which surprised me because in Hamilton County, I figured there would be a big hunting community in this area. I was very surprised. A lot of the shotguns that I opened the store with, I had to give away in promotions and stuff like that. But the shotguns that did move were the more pistol grip shotguns, shorter barrel length, stuff that people would use more for home defense. So as you saw when I did the tour, most of the shotguns I carry really fit more of that dynamic now, and they move better than the hunting shotguns did. Now you also have to pay attention to the time and politics and things like that. So when I first opened in 2014, again, remember AR-15 sales at that time were really high. So I carried a really good selection of ARs. Now my selection my selection and my stock of AR-15s I've allowed to let dwindle down a little bit just because demand for that type of stuff is really low. Now, interestingly enough, I used to carry a small selection of AKs and people would come in and buy those all the time. This is back when you could get the Yugoslavian stuff, and of course now you can still get the Romanian AKs and stuff too. I learned very quickly that customers were coming in and telling me like, hey, you are the only guys, even though you might only have 3 to choose from, you are the only guys in the area that really carry a decent selection of AKs. So I had a lot of people coming in just for the few that I carried. You might remember that I did a video about 1.5 years ago with Jeff from the Wabbit season about AKs. It was about that time that I started really bulking up my AK selection, and now I like to carry a lot more in the AK realm because, again, it's something that my local market really has told me through feedback and through the sales of the stuff I started stocking that I needed to get a better variety of AKs. Just the people in this area like them. Another big one for us is concealed carry handguns. So again, I used to carry more of a wider array of concealed carry versus like large, what I would call a duty size or a full size range specific type handguns and stuff like that. Target guns were another big one that I tried to stock when I first opened. Marksman shooting sports, gives you that idea that you're going to be more competition oriented and maybe like a sports shooter. So I tried to carry a selection of that type of stuff. It went nowhere. We're talking some high-end ARs, stuff with like weird funky colors, some race guns, things like that, really didn't move very well at all. So what I realized is when it comes to handguns, the stuff that people in my area want, like defensive stuff that equalizes in the $300 to $500 range, stuff that they can take to the range and have fun with, but people in this area tend to be more safety minded. They're looking for stuff that they can carry and keep in the home for self-defense. That's at least what my customers want. Another thing is the price point, and this is an interesting one. So when I opened up, I had a lot of also, and in my first couple years of being here in business, I had a couple really high-end, a couple high-end firearms. So when I mean high-end, I mean anything over $1,500. Now that stuff really sits around a long time. And if you can imagine, at a margin of 8 to 10% on a $2,000 gun, if I sell that, I'm making $200 less my credit card fee. So I might be making $150 if I sell a $2,000 gun, and if the customer pays with a credit card. Plus, we have a reward point system where we get back 2.5 to 3.5%. So at the end of the day, I might really only be making $100 or $120. And those higher end guns, they sit around forever. At least in here, they do. My local market loves I like to say, like I said, the average price of a gun we sell here, $300 to $500. That just seems to be the magic number that my customers want. So I carry more of a variety of that stuff. Now, I do also carry some higher end things, but not nearly as much as I used to. Now, of course, we do carry some super high end things like machine guns, but usually we try and sell that off to the national market, and that's something else I'll talk about here in a minute. Now, one of the great things about the advent of being able to put things up on the internet through like a Gearfire system or anything like that is it allows your customers to look at different things that you can get with your price and margin and everything on that, so that if they are looking for something that you don't typically stock, like a higher end firearm, they can always special order it. And of course, you're making the sale before the firearm even comes in, so you don't have to sit around and wait for it to move. But again, if you are in a demographic, a very high socioeconomic area, and people in your area want $2,000 and $3,000 ARs and $2,000 and $3,000 revolvers and things like that, then that's the stuff you really have to focus on stocking. If that's the stuff that people want, that type of demographic isn't going to come in looking for Taurus G2Cs and things like that. So you really have to tailor both the product offering and even the price points that you're selling at based on the demographic and the market in your area. Now, another interesting thing about firearms is now more than ever, there are so many different options on the market of things you can purchase. We have more, I call them boutique manufacturers. Those are like manufacturers who put out they seem to be cropping up every year. They'll put out 1 or 2 different models that they've pioneered, or you see this specifically in ARs because they're so easy to build. People say, oh, well, here's this great opportunity. I can build an AR and put it out there. And right now is a horrible time to do that because the AR market is so saturated, and there is a million little boutique AR manufacturers out there. So you really have to be a little bit different innovative if you're going to compete in that space, in my opinion. I'm not in manufacturing, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. But if you open a gun store, you will learn very quickly it's incredibly expensive stocking inventory. Again, just take what a normal sales price of a gun is and subtract about 8%. You're really paying close to the retail value for that firearm anyway, and then you're stocking 200, 300, 400. In some of these box stores, 500 or 600. And a lot of that stuff, if it's not highly popular with your local customer base, is going to sit around forever. So you just kind of have to focus on that. Now, another great opportunity is to, of course, sell things to the national market. We do a lot of that, not specifically with new guns, because it's hard to sell a Glock 19, for example, to somebody in Colorado. I'm going to use Colorado again, and have them pay for shipping and a transfer fee when they know that they could just go into their local store and buy one. Where selling nationally really pays off is in the used market, because every used gun is different. Some are more used than others, and some prices vary. There are some rare stuff that people just can't go in and find in a gun shop, no matter how hard they try. Lugers or 1941 Johnson rifle or an 1873 Winchester or something like that. So usually that type of stuff that's really high ticket, we will sell on GunBroker or places like that. But again, your inventory formation on used stuff, you don't really have a lot of say over. All you can do is pick and choose and decide whether you want a particular used gun that comes through your door or not. We make offers on everything except muzzle loaders and things that are obviously broken, because I don't want to start playing the guessing game with how to fix it and how much it's going to cost me, and also have a potential dangerous situation for the person who buys it if they don't know how to fix it. So we stay away from malfunctioning firearms, and again, also muzzle loaders. I've always gotten burned on those in the past, just because, again, it's something I don't really know a whole lot about. But anyway, guys, that's basically it in a nutshell. A lot of it obviously is common sense, but if you are going to open a gun store, or you do work at a gun store, I would be interested in hearing your thoughts about how you select and pick and choose the different types of inventory you put in your store. And also, if you're a customer, have you found that you go into a store, you might ask for a particular thing over and over that the gun store doesn't stock? Or maybe you've noticed, if you've been in the gun buying world for 10, 20, 30 years, how have you seen inventory levels change?
My guess is back before the internet, gun stores usually carried a lot larger variety. I also know that people used to put out catalogs on their counter, because I get a lot of older customers who always ask me for a product catalog, which I kind of chuckle. It's just funny. It's just a dichotomy of the different ages there. But I usually just hand them my business card and say, you know, I have my entire catalog online. You know, go look at it. I can order it in for you if you don't want to order it on the system, so on and so forth. But anyway, I digress. I will leave you guys off with that. If you have any questions, let me know by leaving those down in the comment section, or you can email me directly. My email address is down in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit that bell notification button so you are aware when I am posting new content. Anyway, guys, I will leave you off with that. I am Chris with Marksman Shooting Sports in Westfield, Indiana. You are watching Marksman TV, and I will see you next time.